What's going on, guys? Aaron from Top Tier Gaming here, and today I am bringing you a Virtual World deck profile for the brand new format. Virtual World, I think, is like one of the decks that benefited the most from the new ban list, with Emergency Teleport coming back to 2, and that just gives a boost to Virtual World. So while other things were hit in a sense, I mean, the ban list didn't change too much about the standings in the current meta, but Virtual World did get a boost in the form of that second Emergency Teleport, and I've been playing this deck for the last couple of weeks, picked it back up again. Of course, I have a video previously on my channel for a deck profile, but been picking it back up and just been having loads of fun because it's a really cool deck that can do so much. It plays like such an interesting style of play in Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, it makes Virtual World one of my favorite combo decks to play. And yeah, just wanted to update the deck profile for the new format. I'm going to be uploading a lot of deck profiles in the coming weeks with new videos for new deck profiles for the new list. However, Burst of Destiny is right around the corner, so if it's a deck like Evil Twins, for instance, I'm probably just going to hold out for Burst of Destiny. But yeah, before we get into the deck profile, Discord links down below if you want to check that out. Discord's been growing steady. It's been a load of fun on there. And yeah, if you want to join the Discord, link down below. One more thing before we get into the deck profile, I will be showing combos at the end of the deck profile because Virtual World is a pretty hard deck to play, especially for those who are just trying to get into it. So I'll show a test hand and show you guys how the deck works in reality. And yeah, without further ado, let's get back into the deck profile. Alright, starting off, we have the very standard 3 Lulu, 3 GG. I mean, we're running the very standard ratios, I think, with a small change from my last version. 3 Lily, 3 Lao Lao, and then 2 Nyan Nyan. So I'm no longer running essentially the 15th Virtual World, which is either a 2-2 or a 3rd Nyan Nyan. I've decided to go with 14, and essentially, spoiler I guess, Emergency Teleport has taken the spot of what would normally be the 3rd Nyan Nyan, or the 2-2 if you choose to run that. It makes sense to me because I think Emergency Teleport's better than an additional Virtual World normal summon. Like if you open double Nyan Nyan or 2-2 Nyan Nyan, it's not great. However, if you open like Nyan Nyan Emergency Teleport, it's not bad. So I feel like Emergency Teleport was the best thing to add over that slot. And it's really hard to fit anything in Virtual World and leave it 40 cards. This is a 40 card list. So that's what I decided to take out. So we are running the 14 Virtual Worlds. Nothing too crazy, but it is different from like the 15 variant in my last list, which was running the 2-2. And of course, you just want to max out on all of the Virtual Worlds because you want to open as many as possible. Like, it's much better to open Virtual World names than not. The only issue being when you open multiple Lily or Lao Lao. But Emergency Teleport kind of helps with that too, because, you know, you just get a Virtual World normal summon through a special summon, and then Lily and Lao Lao are live, which is so good why, like, Emergency Teleport's back at 2. Just an additional extender for the deck. And that's it for the Virtual World monsters. So next up is, like, our Go Second cards, our hand traps. 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Infinite Impermanence, and 3 Nibiru the Primal Being. I am main decking 3 Nibiru. Yeah, it's just really good this format, it seems, because now with Tri-Brigade probably switching to the Cat variant because Zodiac looks like it took the biggest hit on the list. It looks like Nibiru might be a lot better against Tri-Brigade, which is another reason to play it, but it's already been like pretty good in the format, and manning it in Virtual World never feels too terrible because even if you draw it in a matchup where it's not great, Virtual World plays a lot of discard outlets, so you can just discard it if it's not that good. These are the 9 hand traps I choose to play. We got Ash and Imperm, which are the most standard and are the best at stopping Dragoon from coming out, whether it be Ash for Red Eyes Fusion or Infinite Impermanence to hit Verite Anaconda. And yeah, Nibiru just super impactful, high, you know, impact hand trap. So yep, these are the ones I choose to play. Also, Nibiru is really good in the mirror, so yeah, you have a lot of flex spots here. Of course, you will have to make room for Crossout Designator, which isn't out just yet. At the end of the deck profile, I'll go over some things I think you can take out for Crossout Designator, because that is a big change coming to our format very soon. On to spells, 3 Pot of Desires and 1 Pot of Prosperity. This is something that I sort of took from the OCG. It's pretty common to see Virtual World lists with multiple prosperities with desires, or just like 1 prosperity, seeing multiple different pot cards. So we're maxing out on desires, and we're choosing to run 1 prosperity. In my last list, I wasn't running any Pot of Desires because, yeah, like, I was running Gamma as well, which you'll notice Gamma's not in this list. It's not in my Go Second cards or my hand traps. Gamma is harder to use in Virtual World because I feel like if you ever activate like Lulu targeting Qinglong, we'll say, a good opponent is less likely to Ash there because they think Virtual World plays Gamma. So yeah, we're not playing Gamma for several reasons, but yeah, one, people are just less likely to actually play into Gamma, and two, I don't like it with Desires. But yeah, talking more about the pot cards we have out here, it's just to increase consistency. Desires just gets you 2 additional cards, which will help Virtual World not brick. Of course, there are a couple things you have to be wary about not banishing, like multiple Chuche and multiple Nyan Nyan, which is like the one downside of cutting it from like 3 to 2 over the emergency teleport, is the fact that Desires can banish both, which is really bad. And Prosperity is just like, if you open Terrible, then it can get you to a play. Like, Prosperity, you're not going to be able to use your Stardust Charge Warrior or your Cruel Dragon draws, which can really mess up some combos. So every time I use Prosperity, I end up going for like a very standard play, trying to get Chuche, Shen Shen, maybe Tolkien as well, but I never go for like full combo with Prosperity because it's really hard to find the discard outlets. But if you opened Absolute Brick, then Prosperity can save you. And if you don't need Prosperity, it's just a good discard outlet. So that is my reasoning for running this varied pot ratio. And then we go on to the more standard 3 City and 3 Qinglong. You're going to maximize on each of these. Qinglong, just one of the best cards in the deck. It can be a good negate for things like Appaloosa or any problem card, and is a Virtual World spell that you can target with your monsters, which is the most important part. And it's a Rhoda, so yeah, the Qinglong is just amazing. And 3 City to get you either Chuche or Qinglong. I mean, these are just mandatory staples you're going to be maximizing no matter what. Then I choose to play 1 Foolish Burial. It's just like an additional consistency card. If you already open a way to get to Qinglong engraved, then you can send Shanwu with this. If you get Shanwu engraved, then you can send Qinglong. And yeah, you have options with this card, and just a 1-of because I don't want to open multiples, and it's only good like sometimes, but it is a card that helps Virtual World not brick. Any like extra space you have that's not going to like whatever going second card you want to run, and your engine should go to consistency cards for the deck, because Virtual World are kind of known for bricking in the worst situations and being a deck that can brick. So yeah, 1 Foolish Burial goods just to help with the consistency a tad bit. 1 Called by the Grave. I think this is pretty standard. Stop hand traps. Of course, once Designator comes out, you will probably be playing 3 Designator as well. It's a little weird trying to fit it in the build when I've been drafting with it, because yeah, the space is just super tight in this list, but you probably want to stop cards like Nibiru and other hand traps that can mess up your plays. Same reason for Called by the Grave, one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then finally, we have our 2 Emergency Teleport. Unfortunately, we only have 1 ulti first, and that would be because I wasn't ready for Teleport to come to 2, so we're rocking the ulti and the Ultra. But yeah, Teleport is just great in this deck because it can get Nyan Nyan or Lulu, and then you can use that as a Virtual World name to activate all your effects in hand. It can help play through Interruption, because if you use your normal summon and they bounce it with like Hermetic Seals or Hermetic Spheres, then you can Emergency Teleport and essentially keep playing, which is very, very nice. Just gets through Interruption and just acts as an additional extender. So this card is amazing in this deck, and we are definitely going to be playing as many copies as Konami allows us to play. Alright, on to traps. We have the double Chuche and the 1 Shanwu, very standard. You're definitely running 2 to 3 Chuche. I choose to play 2 because I feel it helps the deck be a little more consistent. You're not opening too many traps, but you have to play these cards. They're engine requirements, and you're going to play at least 3 traps in the deck. And yep, that was the main deck. On to the extra deck. We are going to start with, I feel like I actually play more level 6 Synchros than other list plays, so yeah, I will mention that there are a couple of changes I want to make to the extra deck, and I'll list those as I go along. We have the 1 Charge Warrior and the 1 Coral Dragon. These are pretty mandatory because they help you get additional draws, which are good for all of your effects that need to discard, and they're like level 6, so it just makes so much sense. And Coral Dragon is like a pretty good go second card as well. And we have the 1 Juju. He is surprisingly like such a good card. He can be a problem for so many different decks and out so many different cards that, I mean, you have to be playing at least one of this. Then I choose to run a Nothung. Yeah, like Virtual World combos can take a while. It's a deck that can actually grind. So it's not surprising to end up going into game 3 with this deck and there being like 2 minutes left on the clock. And this is like a level 6 Dark Synchro that's also an out to Dragoon. So it has a lot of things going for it and can help you win in time. So like I think it's a super important card to play. Like it's a dark for Mud Dragon if you want to go that route. Level 6, and again, out to Dragoon, which is very cool. And then we have the Mud Dragon in case you want to play, you know, good fusions in your extra deck like Kaliga or Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Yeah, but that's a lot of level 6s. You can definitely cut one of those for something else if you don't want to run the Mud Dragon package. That opens up a lot of space, but yeah. For our level 9 Synchros, we have the 1 Vermilion Mech and 1 Shen Shen. I really want to play like a different level 9 Synchro, either Croca Dragon or the brand new one that came out in Lightning Overdrive. They're both like really good, and just having another level 9 option has come up, like me needing another level 9 option has come up a lot more often than I thought it would, so I might make a change to this extra deck to try to fit one of those, and yeah, but these are the level 9s I'm running for right now. And then we have the Tzolk'in and the Crystal Wing. Yeah, these are very standard, help you play through Nibiru, and Crystal Wing is just an amazing card in this deck, and when you can make Tzolk'in, it's pretty good. So yeah, you like ending Shen Shen, Chuche, and Crystal Wing is a pretty powerful board, and anything more is just like extra. So, yep. On to Xyzes. For rank 3s, I'm playing one Xyz being Breaksword. It's a way to go to Zeus with level 3 monsters, as well as just being an out to things. So Breaksword's the level 3 I like playing. Some people have recommended like Fortune Tune, which is an option you can play. I don't really like it. I feel like he's still pretty easy to out, despite not being able to be destroyed by battle, and Breaksword can be an out to things, and that's why I just prefer Breaksword over Fortune Tune. And then we have Ptolemy, my personal favorite card in the extra deck. He is such a good card in this deck. Like, you just bounce back your Virtual World names or hand traps back to your hand, or out a problem card on the field, and then make Zeus with him. It's very, very good. One Utopia Beyond, out to Dragoon, and he baits a lot of negates, surprisingly, as well. I've baited a lot of negates with this card just because, yeah, putting things to 0 is actually pretty good. One Gaia Dragon, and then, of course, the Zeus. So, yep, Zeus is a very powerful card. Of course, we are going to run the 1 because we can make Xyz monsters. And then lastly, I am running the Caliga. This is my fusion monster of choice. You can run this and Dragoon if you want to play a larger package. I only recommend running 1, and Caliga is usually the one I end up wanting to go for the most because I usually finish with 1 card in hand, and it's the card that GG brings back to my hand, and I don't really want to discard it with Dragoon. So I found that Caliga just works best for me. No side deck because, I mean, the format just happened, so I don't know what I want to be siding just yet. I mean, the format probably didn't change that much, but yeah, we're not going to do a side deck for this profile, but we will go into the combos now to show you guys what Virtual World can do, how to play it, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright guys, getting into the combo section, I'm going to be drawing a test hand and showing you guys what Virtual World can really do. Starting off with a quick power shuffle because, of course, we were just in deck profile order. Gave it a few shuffles and now doing a quick power shuffle. And yeah, let's hope to not brick. Virtual World are known for their fun times drawing hands that don't actually play the game, and we're going to do everything we can to not draw like that right now. We're going to give it a quick cut. And then we are going to draw our hand, which is going to be Infinite Impermanence, GG, Pot of Desires, Nibiru, and Ash Blossom. Okay, so going second, this hand's actually crazy. We open Nibiru, Ash, and Infinite Impermanence. However, for a hand test, this is not too great. If we were going second, what would we draw? That's actually really good. But of course, we're not going second here, so if I see a hand like this, I'm going to activate Pot of Desires, first things first. Banish the top 10 cards, 6, 8, 10, and then we get to draw 2, which is going to be Lily and another Pot of Desires. Don't you love seeing Desires off Desires? So the first thing, we're going to check what we banished, because that is very important. I'm going to lay out the banished here. We banished 2 cities. We knew City was going to be there. We've got the Lulu, 3 Lulus. Alright, never happened. Didn't see that. We're going to go into the actual hand test. Yeah, like that, what was playable, but there was a lot of stuff there that made me not want to use that specific hand and Desires Banish for the combo in this video. We opened playable, we opened really good going second, but banishing 3 Lulu off Desires and having Lily GG is not the way I kind of want to start this video off. So let's see, we're going to start with a Desires, a Foolish Burial Goods, a Lao Lao, a Qinglong, and another Pot of Desires. So this hand's playable, it's fine. We're going to start by, we can start by activating Foolish Burial Goods, which isn't bad. And we're going to go ahead and dump a Qinglong to graveyard. And we're going to use Qinglong's effect by banishing it to add a Virtual World monster to our hand, and then discard a card. And lucky for us, we opened 2 Desires, which is going to help us a lot here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to activate the Qinglong, and we're going to move our cards down here, spells here. Hopefully we can see everything. And first thing I'm going to do is activate Lao Lao. Of course, I'm playing this hand assuming no interruptions. Otherwise, your plays will be pretty different. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and Lulu target Qinglong, which means we're going to add a monster and we're going to dump a trap. And I'm going to send Lily. Or add Lily, and then I'm going to send Shan Wu, more specifically. I'm going to special the Lulu because that's how our effects resolves. And then I'm going to activate Kieran, targeting the Qinglong, I'm guessing. And we're going to send a monster and a trap. We're going to send the Chuche, and we're going to send Yan Yan, who's just generally pretty good for this. We can also choose to send Gigi, actually, which I think I want to, because I might want to make Ptolemy. Ptolemy is pretty good if we can end up getting to him. And getting Gigi Engrave isn't bad. And then we're going to special the Kieran. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to... There's a couple of different options here. You can banish your Chuche to make Lulu level 6, and then you can instantly go into your Crystal Wing. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to banish Chuche. We're going to target the Lulu here. And the reason we're doing it like this without... Like, you can end up with a much crazier board if you don't do it like this, but this is like surefire way to play around Nibiru, and that's what we're trying to do, is do the best combo that will play the game correctly. So we're going to synchro those off, and we're going to make Ultimate Sulkin. With Sulkin on the field, now we can set our desires, use Sulkin's effect, and we can special summon Crystal Wing. Now, if you're afraid of Lightning Storm, you can obviously put this in defense, but we're just going to put it in attack because he actually gets pretty good benefits from being in attack. Now we are going to activate our Lao Lao, and we're going to target our Qinglong because it's the only virtual world card we control. And we can either dump a trap, which is not the greatest here, or we can dump a monster, which is definitely what we're going to do. We're going to dump Nian Yan, and then we are going to bring out our Gigi. And now we have, again, more options, and we're going to special our Nian Yan off of the Gigi summon, and then now we have, again, a few options. Obviously, we have Shen Shen here, but we can do so much more without going to Shen Shen immediately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Synchro. I'm going to Synchro our Nian Yan and our Gigi, and we're going to make Stardust Charge Warrior. And then Charge Warrior is going to draw us a card, which happens to be Emergency Teleport, which is pretty good. I definitely am not going to complain about drawing Emergency Teleport. Then we are going to take our Lao Lao and our Stardust Charge Warrior. I don't know why I'm going into my deck. And we're going to make Ptolemy. It's really cool that in our combo I'll be able to show off Emergency Teleport. Because, yeah, really good card. And then we are going to add Gigi back to hand. And that's one reason why we chose to bring him back earlier. I'm going to add back the Gigi. And now, because I don't really want to banish the Nian Yan, I'm going to go ahead and activate Emergency Teleport now before I go ahead and activate my face down Pot of Desires. Which I might not even activate after that because I'm a little concerned with banishing my other Chuche. So yeah, we have options, but Nian Yan in general, pretty good. We can also go Lulu to Synchro 6, which might actually be the play. And yeah, we're definitely going Lulu here, ignore me. We're going to go Lulu, and we are going to get a tuner on the field, and that's what's most important. So, Emergency Teleport, specials Lulu, and then Gigi is going to target the Lulu, and we're going to dump Qinglong, because we want as much follow-up as possible, which Gigi is so much follow-up here. He's going to make sure we get Lulu back at the end phase, as well as put a Qinglong in the graveyard. And then we are going to Synchro for Coral Dragon. And we're going Coral Dragon here because it will end up netting us an additional draw. There are a couple things that can go really, really badly right now. If we banish the other Chuche, like, that kind of stinks because I mean, technically we could have put the Chuche back with Nian Yan when she got banished, but didn't think about it, and now we're at a position where that's not happening. So we're going to activate the Pot of Desires finally. We, of course, didn't want to start with this because we want to make sure we have as many combo pieces in deck to play with, and then hopefully find some good cards off the late Desires. So we're going to banish 10, which is going to be a lot of Virtual World names, and some... we do banish the other Chuche, which is unfortunate. It means we're not ending Chuche, which stinks, but we can end up sending it back with a different Nian Yan, unless she was also banished, but I don't think she was. We're going to draw Nibiru and City. Okay, so these are actually some really good draws, City and Nibiru. City normally here could add the Chuche if we didn't just banish it, and that would make this hand absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, so we're going to have to choose wisely here. Of course, we have a Nian Nian in deck that can eventually put back that Chuche, which is really important. But now we're going to activate Shan Wu, and we're going to target our Gigi, and then we're going to have to discard a card. We do have a full board, so maybe discarding Nibiru is fine instead of City, which can be like a good card later. But I kind of want the Nibiru in case they just have the actual stones. So I'm going to discard the City, and then I'm going to Synchro with Coral Dragon and Gigi. Finally into our Shen Shen. And then we're going to draw a card off of Coral Dragon, which is an Ash Blossom. So even without Chuche, because we unfortunately banished it and couldn't use City, we ended with Shen Shen, Ptolemy, Crystal Wing, Ash, Nibiru in hand, Qinglong on field, Gigi at end phase adds back Lulu from graveyard, and we have a Qinglong in grave for the next turn. So all in all, really good hand. Even though it didn't look that amazing at the start, it definitely turned into a good hand. And yeah, this is what Virtual World can do. Of course, if you open the actual stones, you can make Kaliga with this board and have Chuche, which is actually insane. But we also we were like unable to get Nibiru in this board, which is amazing because we made Crystal Wing so early. So yeah, honestly, overall, good hand. It wasn't the greatest start, but you can still end on something like this, which is overall very, very powerful. And yeah, if you enjoyed the deck profile, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. This was Aaron from Top Tier Gaming. Bye, YouTube.